Hello again, everyone, and welcome in to RedHawk Football Weekly. Miami gets a 23-20 overtime victory over UMass, and homecoming Saturday in Oxford gets their first win of the season, goes to 1-3. An exciting contest that we'll talk about with head coach Chuck Martin in a moment. They'll face the Toledo Rockets coming up this Saturday at the Glass Bowl in Toledo, 3:30 kick. The Rockets are 3-1 coming off a bye week. Joining us, head coach Chuck Martin. And Coach, we talk about it. Every game Miami is going to play is going to be a grinded out kind of football game. And you have to be happy with the win, but also happy with the way that your team kept grinding. Things didn't go well in the fourth quarter. UMass built a lead, scored 10 unanswered, I think it was. And your guys just kept grinding and finding a way to win.
Yeah, it was obviously back and forth game, and there was, there's times we felt like we could seize control of the game, and we didn't. Whether we miscued on offense with a turnover in the red zone, whether we gave a big pass play, gave them, but then got down the fourth quarter and you have a lead, and they go down and tie it up and put together a nice drive, really their first really nice drive of the day, and then we don't do anything, and then they come right back and put together a nice drive, and looks like they probably end the game with 40 seconds left. Yeah. They kick a field goal, and thank goodness the defense did finally get the stop. It took a while, but we did hold them a half a yard short on third down, which was huge. And then they banged the field goal. But like you alluded to, our approach probably saved us. We've been too up and down the first 3 weeks, too highs on the highs and too lows on the lows, and we've been talking about, hey, we got to get on more of that. We got to fight through those peaks and valleys because you're going to have them every week. We talked about all week. The kids and coaches did a great job. We took the field 40 seconds ago with a plan. We knew we were up against it. We knew you almost have to be perfect in that drive. Right. You almost can't have an incompletion. You certainly can't have a play in bounds with the clock running. The game's going to be over. So we hit 5 straight passes, and Brett scrambled and got out of bounds, which if you don't get out of bounds, game over. So 6 straight plays, you go 47 yards in 36 seconds is not easy to do. And then Dom goes out, and obviously with tons of pressure on him, not just a game-winning kick, but your team's 0-3 and it's homecoming and you're favored and a lot at stake here, and bangs a huge kick under pressure, and then we get another good stop in overtime, and Dom makes another huge kick in overtime, and you can say he escaped with a hard-fought victory, but it was a great team victory. 4 starters out going in. We lost a couple other key starters during the game, so it was a mash unit in the fourth quarter for us, and yet we had a lot of guys that were out there that were fairly inexperienced in a huge moments, and a lot of them stood up very well for us. They didn't necessarily win the game for us, but they held the fort down and gave our team a chance to pull it out in the end.
Yeah, I asked you last week about being concerned about putting points on the board, and running game got points on the board, first rushing touchdown of the year. Brett got a touchdown in that game as well. Running game, great to see Keon Mosey break out, have a couple of big runs.
Yeah, no, the running game was effective the whole day. There's still more. We started to run a little better at Notre Dame, which everybody saw, and then we continued it. And then Mo had a couple big touchdown run, well blocked up, hit a hole, hit gassed it through the hole, and that's what Mo can do. You give him some clean air, and he can get on the back end in a hurry, and we gave him some clean air, and it all works together. Mosey broke out. He ran the ball really well, but we also blocked really well in front of him, and he took advantage of it. And again, it wasn't giant holes, but he's quick, and then obviously broke for another 66-yarder, which was another tremendous run and a well-blocked play, and we got him on the back end, and that's what he can do when he gets on the back end. So ran it effectively, and it was great to see him have a huge day for us, and obviously we needed all of it.
Yeah, all right. Let's take a look at the first half highlights here. Neither team could score until about midway through the first quarter. 3rd and 8 here, and looks like maybe the drive might stall here, but you get a big call on a pass interference.
Yeah, had a chance for a touchdown. Reggie beats him clean. Ball's a hair short. Reggie goes up and gets it. The guy runs up his back, and we take the 15. We'd have loved the touchdown. As you can see here getting there early, and Reggie's got a chance to catch the ball. So really good by Reggie. Beat him on the post one-on-one, and good things happen when that happens.
And 2 plays later, Keon Mosey, that big hole and that burst of speed makes a man miss there straight into the end zone for the touchdown. and Miami is up 6-0. And you talk about that burst of speed, watch him run by defenders.
Yeah, great hold there, and then he blew right by 3 guys. And again, great job up front. We got really good movement, got him a seam, and he took advantage of it.
UMass scores 10 unanswered to take a 10-7 lead. And 3 of the hardest fought yards you will ever see in college football. Great running here by Dylan Downey.
Yeah, all of our backs ran well. Dylan, KD, and Mosey. Here's a really good run by Dylan. And like you said, it's only 3 yards. But when you keep your legs churning, good things happen when you don't stop on contact, and he did a great job there.
Brings up 2nd and 7, and a complete pass down the left side. Andre Johnson gets open.
Yeah, throw a lot of bubble screens. Pumped the bubble screen, got him to bite on it, hit Andre. Really good job by Andre, really good job by protection. Great job by Brett.
Look at it here, and again, you see Andre Johnson running wide open down the sideline. That play is good for 44 yards. The drive stalls there, and you call on Dom Jobin for the first time today, and it's a 37-yarder.
Yep, obviously all these points are huge. When you get them at the end of the game or the beginning of the game, and tied it up, got some good momentum after they had taken a lead. And then we did a really good job before the half. We get a stop, and we put ourselves in position again, a quick stop, and we're managing the half good. Our management at the end of the first and second half were both good. We hit a nice little screen pass out here to Cade for a big chunk play after defense got us a huge stop to give us another possession right before the half, which you always would like to have the last possession before the half. Did a good job moving the ball down again, hitting Cade again. He breaks away. A great play by 15, saved a touchdown probably there for UMass. And we're moving down. We're trying to get, again, we'd like to get a 7, but you'd like to, we're just down 10-7. You'd like to go and leave the half. Another good run by Dylan here, breaking tackles, and we're getting it down to where we can get at least a field goal or maybe even the touchdown. And obviously, we end up turning the ball over, which, again, we're going to clean up. It's not. Again, is it a concern? Yes. Brett's trying to do too much? Yes. No reason to just throw that ball bounce, kick the field goal, go up 13-10. You have all the momentum you want going into halftime, and you've played a pretty good first half. But again, sometimes you force it, sometimes try to do much, and when you do, bad things usually happen. So, and uncharacteristic, as I've said, for Brett, and I'm very optimistic he gets that cleaned up today.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, throwing it off the back foot on the scramble, back across the body. You can see, especially on the last replay, Reggie was open, and he just didn't see the Viper back coming in on the other side. But it is 10-10 at the half, and it's such a hard football game, and points are hard to come by for both teams. Again, I didn't hear the discussion at halftime, but you had to be pleased at least walking off into the locker room being tied at that point of the game.
Yeah, not really,
Yeah.
just because they hadn't really done much offensively. They hit us on a double move for a 70-yard touchdown.
Right.
That's their one. We had moved the ball much more efficient than them. We had run the ball. We had completed balls. We certainly, if we don't give a 70-yard touchdown and we just kick the field goal at the end of the half, you're sitting there, it's 13-3 right now, and you're in a 2-score game, you're in control.
Right.
So felt like we outplayed them in the first half, not by a wide margin, but enough that we should have been up by a score or two. But we give up the big play, so it's more like, okay, don't give up the big play, keep being stingy on defense, and when we move with the ball, don't turn the ball over and get points. So should have at least had 13, they probably should have had 3 at half. So felt good at how we were playing, wasn't feeling good about much like Notre Dame. Felt like, hey, we outplayed them, but we don't have anything to show for. We're just tied, so we got to keep grinding and keep plugging away.
We'll talk about the second half against UMass. Again, it's 10-10 at the half. Second half highlights coming up on RedHawk Football Weekly.
Done with that pizza box, Krusty? Clean side gets recycled, greasy side gets trashed.
Make your recycling count. Rookie.
Located in the heart of Butler County and only 13 miles from Miami University, the Courtyard by Marriott in Hamilton is the ideal location when traveling to the Miami campus. With modern style and spacious guest rooms, journey to relaxation at the Courtyard Marriott, a proud partner of Miami Athletics.
Welcome back to RedHawk Football Weekly. I'm Steve Baker, the voice of the Redhawks. Miami beat UMass Saturday 23-20 in overtime for homecoming, and will face the Toledo Rockets. Mid-American Conference opener action is back. 3:30 kick at the Glass Bowl in Toledo. Myself and Terry Bridge will have the call for you beginning at 2:30 on the E&H Ace Hardware Tailgate Show on the Miami Sports Network. Coach, one of the things we didn't talk about, the homecoming festivities. The Friday festivities were a mess because of the wind and the rain and everything else. The homecoming parade washed out, but thankfully it was just a steady, fairly light rain at the football game on Saturday. The guys in the blue jerseys. I noticed you're wearing the sweater today because nobody saw it under the rain gear on Saturday. But honoring the spirit of Western College for women, and you were talking about it last week and again this morning at your press conference. A great theme for Miami University as they brought in Western College.
Yeah, and great thing to celebrate.
Yeah.
You know, anybody who likes history, there's a lot of moments in history, and some are more major than others. But women getting the same opportunities as men when it comes to academics is just another point in history that needed to happen. And 50 years ago, we merged.
Yeah.
We had a women's college, we had a men's college. Well, Why did you have that? You know, there was a time that's just the way it was. And like I said, my daughter now just goes to Miami University. There was a Miami University back then. She wouldn't have been allowed to go. There was a Western Women's College, which, like I always said, I'm sure was a nice little place, but I promise you they didn't have the resources and the opportunities that the people did. And then, like I said, a president a long time ago made a hard decision that probably there was probably a lot of resistance. So again, when those moves, yes, we know about Martin Luther King and all those, but it's the same thing. It's change and people forcing change. And now, like I said, my daughter gets to go here and have all the same opportunities. So what a wonderful thing to celebrate. And then why are you wearing blue? Well, that was their colors. So we wore their colors, and we, like we said, Western Women's College is 1-0 in college football now. You know, it's pretty cool way to celebrate. It was on homecoming, and just I don't know if it was President Crawford's idea, which I think it was, but whoever's idea, what a wonderful idea. And again, we embraced it and we talked, because our kids are like, what is this? They didn't even know about it. You know, again, and that's when you do it, you bring awareness to things, just like we do with our cancer stuff. It's so awesome when you do things like this, because it does create opportunities for people to learn and grow, and then appreciate our opportunities and appreciate that, hey, this is awesome. That
used to be that way.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a 10-10 ball game at the half, and Miami gets the ball on their second drive. They'll have to start at their own 14, but things start to move well for the Miami offense. 1st and 10, Brett Gabbert out of the shotgun, surveys the field, then takes it for 4.
Yeah, really good protection. Had all day to throw it. Good job by UMass's back end. Brett does what he normally does, makes really good decisions, and gets us a positive play out of something that could have been nothing. So get us to 2nd and 6.
And 2nd and 6, and Keon Mosey is going to pick up 7.
Yeah, another nice job. Really good push up front. Good job, and again, our running game pretty efficient the whole night long.
1st down at the Miami 25-yard line, and Keon Mosey again gets the call. This one's a big one.
Again, good check by Brett. Saw where the pressure was coming for. We worked into the pressure. Really good job up front blocking, and then Mosey does the rest and turns it into 66, our biggest run of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. 66-yard gain on the play, and UMass's speediest defender had the angle going down the sideline and stops him short of the end zone. But you see the Jets of Keon Mosey rumbling down the field and inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. 2 plays later, Brett Gabbert finds Javon Tracy.
All right, really good job by Javon going up and making a contested. Great throw by Brett, good protection. Take advantage of the big Keon run, get down and get 7 points, and don't settle for 3. Huge play in the game for us.
The extra point, as you take a look at it again, would make it 17-10 Miami. UMass would tie things up early in the 4th, and late would mount a drive with a field goal with 47 seconds, and take the lead with 40 seconds to go, and then Miami turns it over to Kevin Davis.
Yeah, great job by Brett trying to push the ball downfield. Knows where his check down is. Try to push it down the field every time, but they did a good job defending deep, which we thought to do a great job by here. Brett getting it to KD. We get another positive play. In 2 plays, we've gone from our 25 to our 42. We're trying to get to their 35 minimally to give us a chance with Dom. We've got 2 good plays right off the bat. Again, trying to push the ball down the field again, but Brett again takes what they give him. We get another 6. Now we're back out to our 48. We're getting to about 17 yards right. This is the biggest play. They got nothing. Brett scrambles, not only gets us some positive yards, picks us 7 yards, but he also gets out of bounds and stops the clock with 14 seconds left. Obviously, very little time. We ran 6 plays in 36 seconds. Big play here. We get KD on one-on-one. He wins on the battle, gets the ball, good catch, good throw, great protection. Really nice job by Brett here because I got a guy in his face and he bought time and kind of threw a hook shot over the top of him. Then really good here. 8 seconds left. Again, no timeout. If it's in play, the game is over. We lose. We get KD again on a different route, and we're trying to get to the 30. Or we're trying to get to 35, we get to the 28, so we get 7, and you feel good because now you know you're well within Dom's range. It's not like he's going to have to stretch. Ball's just outside the 36-yard line, so we got a 46, 47-yard attempt. Got to have good snap, got to have good hold, got to have good kick, got to have good protection. They're sending everybody, and Dom nails it. And really, really awesome job by our defense getting the stop first to give us this opportunity because 7 points would have been too big. And then huge job by our defense getting the stop in overtime. Which forced them into a long field goal. They had a couple key penalties on it. They had a legal man downfield on a play.
Yeah, this is a huge play.
Yep, no, huge
Stops
play
and
right
shot.
here. Knocked him out of bounds.
Makes a third down play, and that's important as you'll see in the coming moments. Ty King getting over there and knocking him out of bounds.
Yeah, huge play by Ty there. And
they get penalties, and a legal man downfield erases what was called a touchdown. The official on the far side said he was down at the 1, so they move him back to the 25-yard line, and they had already gotten a penalty for in a legal formation as used.
Yeah, huge play here on third down because even if they get positive yards, they're going to shorten their field goal attempt. We end up forcing a 44-yard field goal in overtime, which is not super long, but it's long enough, and he misses it wide to the right. And now you're in great situation going in. You got the ball, and you just need 3 to win the game.
And the RedHawks will send out Dom Jobin, and this is a 43-yarder. He sticks it inside the uprights, and Miami gets the victory. A hard-fought 23-20 overtime victory as the team chases Dom Jobin off the field there and celebrates a homecoming victory Saturday in Oxford. And Coach, so happy for Dom Jobin. I know you've talked about it, but I've talked with Dom many times over his career here at Miami University, and you will never meet a more genuine person, nicer guy, and is just in it to play football. Wants to go out there and kick, stuck at Miami, and just happy for his success.
Yeah, in the day and age of the transfer portal and everybody's looking for greener grass, like Dom had every reason to leave here. Yeah. Dom came here to be a kicker, got beat out by Graham Nicholson, who's the Lou Groza Award winner, and Dom kicked really good, and then he became second-team All-League punter because he wasn't a kicker, so he worked and became our punter. Then he got hurt and missed last year, and Bev was 6th in the nation in net punting, and now he lost his punting job, and he was second-team All-League punter, and he's not kicking. And then Graham decides to come back, and Bev decides to come back, and you're behind the 6th-ranked punter and the #1 kicker in the country, and you're a great kicker and punter, and I think he's leaving in January and wouldn't blame him because there's a bunch of kids leave that shouldn't leave.
Yeah.
But this kid legitimately is like really talented kicker and punter, and he's sitting behind 2 of the best in the country. And then he says, I want to be at Miami. I got 2 years left. I'm going to wait it out. I'm going to kick and punt for you. I'm going to score points. I want to win games at Miami. I'm like, wow. In this day and age, that's not. It's people that are doing well are looking to go someplace else, and then they're not doing as well. Like
exactly.
Here's a kid that isn't getting opportunity and has already been a second league all-team punter, and he sticks it out, and then he has that moment, and Graham decides to move on after spring, after he decided to stay in January, and now Dom's out there, not Graham's out there, and you're like, God, the kid stuck it out and kind of went old school on this and loved where he was at and loved where his feet were and just loved his teammates and loved his university and decides he's going to plug away and be part of this, and next thing you know, he's the hero, and couldn't be a better story, especially in this day and age of college football.
I talked to Dom in an interview one time, and he told me when he was punting that he was the only guy on the team where when he walked on the field, nobody cheered except his parents. I was so happy for him to have that moment where everybody in the crowd and all of the team was cheering for him on Saturday on that 23-20 overtime win. Dom responsible for 11 of the 23 points on Saturday. We'll come back as Miami will travel to Toledo this Saturday to play in the Glass Bowl in a 3:30 kick. We'll preview that game with the Rockets when we return in a moment on Red Hawk Football Weekly.
Hey RedHawk fans, Miami is proud to partner with Rumpke Waste and Recycling to keep our campus clean and green. Make sure you recycle your bottles and cans at all Miami games. And make sure you are recycling everything you can at home. Visit rumpke.com.
Welcome back into our final segment of Red Hawk Football Weekly. I'm Steve Baker, the voice of the Red Hawks, and this Saturday Miami travels up I-75 to Toledo to take on the Rockets in a rematch of last year's Mid-American Conference Championship game. The Rockets come into the contest at 3-1, and they had a bye week last week coming off their loss at Western Kentucky. And Miami 1-3 after last week's homecoming matchup. And Coach, everybody remembers the rematch last week, certainly rematch last year as the RedHawks beat Toledo in the championship game. Certainly the Rockets and their fans do. Game is listed as a sellout Saturday at the Glass Bowl, and should be another great opening game in Mid-American Conference action next week.
Yeah, we didn't play them in 9 years, so you're talking 72 straight conference games. We didn't play them for 72 straight conference games. Now we're going to play them 3 times in the last 7 conference games. So we're making up for lost time here.
Absolutely.
The people that wanted. So played them late last year, and obviously lost a really tough game at home, 21-17 in a really knockdown drag-out. And then you go play them in the MAC championship game, and again, it's the same deal. It's anybody's game. They're both 50-50 games. We certainly could have won the first contest. They certainly could have won the MAC championship game. It was just who makes one more play. So we played 2 unbelievably great football games against them a year ago. They're really, really talented group. We've lost some good players. They've lost some good players, but we have some good players coming back, and they have some good players coming back. So they're off to a really good start. They went down and beat Mississippi State and beat them bad to where it was like laughable in the second half, and they're subbing it out. And then they could be undefeated. They had a really tough loss to Western Kentucky where they were up 2 scores in the fourth quarter and ended up not winning the game. And but they're a really, really talented group. They're tremendously coached on both sides of the ball. And they, again, I always say if you pull everybody in the league, everybody talks about Toledo has the most talent in the league. That's what everybody says, and you see it on tape. They're a long, fast, twitchy, athletic team. They've been that way forever. At least as long as I've been following MAC football, Toledo's been a high-end talent team in this league. And then they got us at home, and they got us on a bye week, which again, rest and heal up, and 2 weeks to prepare for us. And obviously, we're preparing for UMass, and so home crowd. You talked about sellout, homecoming. Everything's the schedules makers has this pretty good for the Rockets this week. So again, same thing. We don't mind going on the road. We're more prepared to go on the road based on how many road games we play than any team in the country, I say. So we always embrace going on the road, and we know what we're up against. And we're a pretty beat-up football team, but we were a pretty beat-up football team in the fourth quarter. And our kids that were out there, that were healthy, were fighting and scratching and clawing, and that's what we're going to have to do. And we're going to play really good football to win a really hard-fought road game.
When you look at Toledo, one of the things on their offense, they score a lot of points. They have legitimate deep threats. Over the last couple of games, some guys have gotten behind, and I know that's rule number 1 on the Miami defense. Don't let people get behind you.
Yeah, no, you can't give up big plays. Everybody knows that. That's rule number 1 on everybody's defense. Don't give up big plays. Try to get behind the chains and don't give up big plays. Unfortunately, one really big play we gave was 3rd and 15, which is the worst time to give it. There's no good time to give a big play. I shouldn't say that. But again, something that we take a lot of pride in our defense, and it's hard to do against Toledo. They get big plays against everybody. We did a great job a year ago in the championship game of keeping the ball inside and front. It's very hard to do. They got electric receivers. They got that big tight end. That's a weapon. They got their tailbacks, probably, if not the biggest weapon in the league, one of the big weapons in the league. I don't know how many kickoff returns he's had for a touchdown in his career, but it's probably 3 to 5 in his career. He had another one already this year. He had one against Buffalo last year. He's dynamic. So they have the threats to go big at any time, and it could be a run, it could be a pass. It's not just throwing over their heads. Some of them are short passes, and they take them a long way. So pursuit and tackling is going to be of the utmost importance. We know we're up against defensively, and we're going to fight and scratch and claw, try to find a way to get a hard-fought road victory.
Coach, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Head coach Chuck Martin joining us on Red Hawk Football Weekly. Again, 3:30 is kick at the Glass Bowl on Saturday. Myself and Terry Bridge will have the call on the Miami Sports Network, beginning with the E&H Ace Hardware Tailgate Show at 2:30 in the afternoon. And don't forget about Hawk Talk Thursday night, live from La Rosa's. Myself, Chuck Martin, and guests will all be there. And you can watch it on Miami RedHawks Facebook page live beginning at 6 p.m. Until then, for Coach Martin, I'm Steve Baker. Thanks for watching. Love and honor, everyone.